What is going on, everyone? My name is GX, and today I have a really cool video. If you don't know, about a couple weeks ago I interviewed Kabam Gabe, and on this interview, Exon asked Gabe, are you planning to add a Native American character to the contest? And he replied, we're actually thinking about having a vote for who will join the game. So it seems like the next summoner choice is going to be all Native American characters, and whoever wins will be added to the contest, similar to how Hercules was added this month. I mean, this is like really cool news, and there's probably around like 30-40 plus characters you can add to, but there's only around like 15 big hitters, and I picked 8 of my favorite, and I think like 7 of these are for sure going to be on this list. And I'm going to go over first off the class of each character and just a little bit of how they could work in the game. I'm not going to be talking about like a full-on build or whatnot, but just like some mechanics we could see, and some mechanics are already in the contest, because a lot of these characters have different aspects of other characters in the contest that I want to talk about. So I'm going to start off from the top left and then work my way to the right, and then back to the bottom left, and then work my way to the right again. And yeah, so we're going to start off with Danielle Moonstar. If you've watched the New Mutants movie, you kind of already know how her powers work. She's obviously a mutant, and she has empathic, illusion casting, psionic abilities. So obviously, first off, we have the illusion mechanic. I definitely think like a falter mechanic, like obviously we have with Professor X, or a little bit with Mysterio too. I think she could have a lot of Mysterio's kit when it comes to that reflection damage. Obviously, it's psionic powers. We have Psylocke in the game, so it's literally like I think you could kind of combine 3 characters into her kit: Professor X, Psylocke, and obviously Mysterio. I think reflection damage should be perfect for her. Definitely like an empathic connection to the person she's fighting, because in the comics she definitely like connects to whoever she's fighting, or she's trying to help people. Like right now in Kushala, she's helping people with their trauma and other things. So it's really cool that she has this empathic connection, and obviously the empathic connection she uses in the comics is for a good thing, but in a fight she would use it obviously against you, putting out your biggest fear. So I definitely think like an SP3 animation could be Demon Bear. In the movie, Demon Bear is her greatest fear, but in the comics it's a different character, which like consumes her parents and whatnot. So I definitely think they could do something very cool with this character. And yeah, man, she's obviously a New Mutants, and we already have, you know, Sunspot in the game, we have Warlock in the game. I mean, dude, she'd be perfect for the game. Alright, so the next one is Warpath. This guy, Kabam Gabe kind of said he's kind of too basic a little bit, because I'm going to talk about a little bit why, and kind of maybe a little bit disagree with him, because I think he could definitely work on the contest. He's obviously a mutant as well. And Warpath and it's actually Thunderbird as well. They're actually 2 separate characters, but they both had each other's code names, and they're brothers with almost the exact same abilities, and that is obviously first off, a lot of physical resistance. That's their main power, is that they can be shot at, they can be stabbed at, and it really won't hurt them. And obviously it helps that they have a healing factor as well. If you ever watch The Gifted, Thunderbird is Warpath's brother. He was in that show, and you can kind of see a lot of his powers. He's physically strong, he's physically resistant, which obviously it sounds like Luke Cage to me. So I think Luke Cage's powers would work perfect for Warpath. But how can they make him differently? Well, he has 2 vibranium daggers. I mean, that's a lot of debuffs in my opinion when it comes to those daggers that can pretty much cut through anything. So I think that could be a main thing of his kit, is using vibranium daggers, using his physical resistance, maybe building up charges or something like that. He also has acute senses, and it's really cool. So he's gonna be self-aware the entire fight. I think that could be really cool. Maybe shut down some ability accuracy, and obviously, you know, he's gonna be healing during the fight, and maybe even flying. He actually has a flight mechanic as well. Like, he's a really cool character. I've always liked his character in the comics because he's just so badass. Like, come on, he can literally do anything, and he was a part of many teams in the comics, so he can have a lot of synergies as well. And yeah, so 2 mutants in a row, and we're gonna continue that tradition. We're gonna make it 3 mutants in a row. That's gonna be Forge. Forge is everyone knows Forge. I feel like a lot of people know Forge. If you know Forge, Forge is so cool. Forge, actually, he is a mutant, but honestly, I think he'd be a tech in the contest, and there's a reason why. It's because his mutant ability is gonna be pretty much creating technology everywhere. Like, he literally just does it on the go everywhere he does. And that's his main thing, is technology. It's creating weapons, it's creating gadgets. It's literally his main feature, and I think that would work perfect for the contest. I mean, we have like Mr. Fantastic with his pre-flights. I mean, this dude could perfectly have that mechanic, you know, having pre-flights, helping out his teammates, giving them gadgets, obviously making super weapons during the fight. Maybe, you know, if you're fighting a Mystic, let me make this weapon. You know, if I'm fighting a tech, let me make this weapon. So I definitely think that'd be really cool. He kind of reminds me of Punisher 29, how Punisher 29 has those mechanics where the gun like forges onto his hand and whatnot. So yeah, I think he could work perfect for the contest, and there's no doubt in my mind that he'll be on this list, and I seriously can't wait. And yeah, that's what I think Forge could be. A little bit of Mr. Fantastic, a little bit of Punisher 29, but a lot of his own mechanics, building those weapons to go against certain classes, certain opponents, and whatnot, I think would be fantastic. All right, so the next one is actually Shaman. You can't see him because of my webcam, so I'm going to turn it off. But yeah, so Shaman, if you know who Shaman is, he's obviously part of the Alpha Flight, which we already have Sasquatch and Guardian in the team in the contest. So I think he could obviously have a synergy with them, of course. And he kind of fits all the all the boxes of a mystic character. That's his main powers, his mystic powers. If you watch the animated 90s TV show The X-Men, he has plant control as his main power. In the comics, it's not that like that's his main power, but I definitely think that could work for the contest. Having growing plants, attacking the opponent with them, like a lot like Poison Ivy from the DC comics that's worked in different Injustice games. And so I definitely think we could have that happen for sure. He also has like a medicine bag, like it's a pocket dimension that heals people. He also can control different spirits, so definitely could be like a matchup against certain mystics. And the biggest thing is that he's a healer, and I think that the healing mechanic could obviously work for himself, but also for his teammates too. I mean, we really haven't seen a little bit of a Heimdall, with a cheat death mechanic, but I would love like a healing mechanic. Like maybe he needs to have a pre-flight that you can only use a certain amount of times that can heal your team. Like that would be insane. I don't know. It sounds insane, but I mean, come on, you wouldn't say no to that, right? All right. So the next one's gonna be Echo. Now this is an interesting gal that you might know or might not know of, and she's actually the newest host of the Phoenix Force. Yeah, you heard me right, the newest form of the Phoenix Force. She is really awesome. First off, she has photographic reflexes. Sounds familiar, right? Yeah, Taskmaster. So, so she has basically Taskmaster's abilities, and now she's a Phoenix. So, honestly, why not give her the best things about Taskmaster and the best things about Phoenix? I mean, there's so much things she can do. You're literally talking about a cosmic being that can really mimic anything you can throw at her. So, I wouldn't want to mess with her. So, yeah, she could obviously be skill or cosmic. And yeah, I think that would be perfect for her. She's really the only cosmic I can see on this list. There's a couple other people that I thought about on this list, but she could be definitely the cosmic on this list. Or they could just not go the Phoenix route and just keep her skill. Yeah, I mean, they really could do what they want. All right, so the next one's actually Kushala, and Kabam Gabe talked about how he would want her to join the game, and she is really cool. She is really cool. So she's actually the Demon Rider and the Sorcerer Supreme of Earth, and she is she's really cool. So she obviously has pyrokinesis, a flaming horse, flight, magic of all sorts of different natures and times. Like she has Nordic magic, Earth magic, binding magic, chaos magic, and so much more. I mean, you're talking about. She is Sorcerer Supreme for a reason. I mean, she could be the heaviest hitter in the Mystic class. I mean, I generally think so, because you're talking about, like, literally a Ghost Rider with the most powerful Mystic abilities. I mean, come on, who would want that in the game? First off, she looks cool. She's going to have a flaming horse. She's going to have different spells, casting, books. I mean, dude, it literally would be perfect for the contest, and she could just shake up the whole Mystic class. Like, it's actually insane. I would love to see her added to the game and see what happens. All right, so the next one's actually Adversary, and this guy was not on my initial list because I didn't know who he was, but once I found out, holy crap, this guy is really cool. So he's going to be another Mystic. I know it's a lot of, 3 mutants, 3 Mystics, I know, but trust me, if this guy won, he could be a powerhouse as well, just like Kushala. He's actually a demon, and not only is he a demon, he's a demon with unlimited magical abilities. It's actually insane. He was like a force to be reckoned with, and in the comics through the 80s to the 10, 20 years ago, you kind of see him transform into this powerful demon. The only thing bad about him, right, because he can reality warp, he can change dimensions, he can shape reality, like, it's insane, but he's only vulnerable to one thing, and that's actually steel and iron. So, how could they play that with the contest? Obviously make him a weakness against people with blades, but also make him super powerful. Like, you want to make him, you're fighting a god, because that's really what I would love to see him, make him super defensive but actually have vulnerability, and then obviously make him super I don't know, I want him to taunt you. I want him to be evil. I want you to fight like you're fighting an evil spirit that you just can't he's gonna be breaking down your spirit. That's what I'd love to see from Adversary. And obviously, you're gonna need Adversary to get through that fight against him. I think he'd just be an awesome. Honestly, I just want to see him as a boss fight. He just seems so cool. He looks cool, and he just surprised the hell out of me once I actually Googled him and found some different wikis and found some different source materials in Marvel Comics. And I was like, wow, this dude is awesome. All right, so the final guy is actually Red Wolf, and this guy I've known about for a long time because I actually have like a poster on my wall with Red Wolf from his first appearance, and this guy is really cool. I'm a big fan of the Assassin's Creed games, and if you played Assassin's Creed 3, you actually play a Native American, and this guy reminds me a lot about Connor because he's going to have a lot of different mechanics, like he's going to have an indomitable will, which means basically a wolf god gave him, his spirit. He's a lot like Night Wolf from Mortal Kombat, but he's definitely a lot more like Connor because he's actually going to be having superhuman strength, marksman abilities, enhanced senses. He's going to use a lot of weapons like bows, daggers, tomahawks, sometimes even a spear. I mean, dude, this dude could be amazing in the skill class. I would generally love to see him add into the game. I mean, you could do so much stuff. You could do a ramp up ability. You could do the spirit possesses him and gives him amazing powers, and then put it on a cool time and everything else. Alright, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. My dogs are barking, so I'm gonna end the video right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out, everybody.